Here's how you can add an environmental query system to your behavior trees. First, right-click, select Artificial Intelligence, and choose Environmental Query. Then give it a name. Once you have that done, open up your behavior tree, and then pull off any sequence branch, and select the Run EQS query. With the task selected, in the right-hand details panel, select your custom EQS query that you just made. In this example, I'm using a vector blackboard location to plot a patrol route. So I'm going to set my blackboard to use my patrol location key that I made earlier. With that done, we'll save, head back, and open up our EQS query. We can pull off the root node and add our first generator. In this case, I'm going to do a points cone. I'm going to set the cone angle from 90 to 300, and then we can save and actually play our little prototype. Hit the apostrophe key, then 3, tab, and we can actually see what this is doing. It's generating a bunch of spheres in that angle, and then the drone is flying to one of those points at random. But this is just a generator. We actually have to create some tests off this data so we can get some different behavior in the AI. So let's go back to the EQS. We can right-click on our generator, add a test, and then the first one I'll do is an overlap test. So the overlap is going to do a filter out only. I'm going to use little spheres. I'll bump them up 100 units on the Z so they're not colliding with the ground, and then I'll uncheck the Boolean match to actually filter them out. With that done, I can then right-click, add a secondary test called distance, and then this one is going to be set to filter and score, and then I'm going to filter out the minimum values, so I'm only focusing on the maximum range, and then I'm going to weight them at a score of 0.75 so you can see what's going on. So if we hit save and we play this real quick, tab over, we can see each of the spheres now has a score. The outer spheres have a score of 0.75, and as we move closer towards the center, they move closer towards 0. The drone is going to move towards the highest weighted item, so in this case it's picking one of the spheres on the outside of the circle. Now we can add an additional test, so we'll right-click and do a dot product test. So dot product we can set to do score only, and for the scoring factor I'm going to set this to be 0.25. And then what I'm also going to do is I'll pull off our root node and we'll add another generator to do the actor of class. And the actor will be my player pawn, which is the third-person character. And then I'll set the distance to be 1,000 units. Very similar to the behavior trees, the EQS queries will run items left to right. So it's going to focus on this one first, and if this fails, it'll move over to this one. So if I save that and play this, we'll notice that the primary thing the drone does is moves right to me because I'm within the 1,000 units bounds. If I move away from the drone, it'll engage the patrol location, and then you'll see it'll pick a random location, and as the drone moves closer to me, it'll identify me and then move towards me. And just like that, you've created an EQS-driven behavior tree. Enjoy.